Hi, I'm Judith McGinnis. Welcome to my kitchen. What are we going to talk about today? Soup. Fall weather is upon us, and there is nothing nicer at the end of a long day than a good warm bowl of soup. And it doesn't have to take very long to prepare. I want to show you the first kind of soup is a sausage and bean soup that you can start out with a little bit of olive oil and some sliced garlic. We're going to get that going over here. This can be ready in less than a half hour. It's a nice fresh taste, and it is a balanced soup that has good fiber and vegetable content. Don't tell the children that Jid's got that. It's just fine. You don't have to tell a husband either. But we're going to start with a little bit of garlic in olive oil. Yeah. How long do you cook garlic? Not very long. You always want to keep an eye on it, because it will scorch pretty quickly. So don't wander off into the house and look at other things and try to start the laundry. You want to keep an eye on this. It will take about a minute or so. Okay. In the meantime, we'll gather up everything else we need. And this is about 14 ounces of chicken sausage. You could probably use a regular smoked sausage of any kind that you like, but this has a nice mild flavor that's very compatible with all the other ingredients. Now we're ready to put the sausage in. The garlic's just started to brown. Let me put this in. Alright. Oh, take these. You don't have to keep a full force burner up under something like this. Too hot is too much. So start a little bit lower, let it go, it'll brown just the same. There we go, and that'll tend to itself nicely. And we're going to use chicken broth in this recipe. And you know how dangerous it is to open one of these things and cart it across the kitchen and try to get it to the pot safely. I came up with an answer to that. Now, you can call this a beer can opener or anything you want. I like to call it a church key, but just take it and open the can of chicken broth. This way, you can pour out all or as much of it as you need. Easy, easy. Alright. Now we're ready to start adding the rest of the fun stuff, beginning with our rinsed and drained beans. The chicken broth. There we go. And a can of diced tomatoes. There we go. That's going. Stir this. We're going to bring this to a boil and then add the kale. Fresh kale, a wonder food. It's absolutely packed with nutrition, iron, and fiber, which are good things. If you see pieces of thick stalk, fairly thick stalk, you can go ahead and take that out, or you can remove the stalks completely if you're more comfortable with that. I know that this looks like an awful lot of kale. Once this liquid comes to a boil and put the kale in, it takes a couple of minutes, but it'll cook down very much, and it won't look like quite nearly this much. Let's give it a minute. Alright, the soup has come to a boil and it's time to add the kale. Just gently toss this in. Do this carefully or you'll be picking it up off the kitchen floor for days. There we go. I'm going to press that down into the broth. And I'm also going to add a little bit of salt. About a teaspoon. Wait to put any more than this in the soup. Give yourself some room to adjust it after the kale is done. See if it needs more. The sausage has a certain amount of salt in it, so. And I like pepper. Yes, I do. There we go. And I think a lid would be a good idea at this point. Alright, I think this soup is ready. And seriously, this is less than 30 minutes. And it is beautiful. Kale and sausage and beans. Now, this is a little bit light on the broth. Some people like brothier versions of soup. All you have to do is add another can of chicken soup. And would you look at that? A couple of pieces of toast to go with that, and you've got dinner. It's that easy. I know it's easy, but I can think of another soup that's even easier. Hang on just a second, let me show you. Alright, everyone has a restaurant somewhere in town that they make a pecani sauce that they really, really love. This is how the soup recipe starts, with pecani sauce. Now, of course, if there's a labeled brand in the grocery store that you like, go ahead. I got this at Fuzzy's. We start with that and add heavy whipping cream. Give that a good stir. This is a dish that you'll really kind of do this based on the shade of it. You can put more pecani sauce, less pecani sauce, more whipping cream, whatever works for you. Now, because this has cream in it, you want to keep stirring it. Don't leave it boiling on its own. It can break the whipping cream and we'll all be terribly sorry. Let's keep this going and give it enough time to come up kind of to a simmer, and then give it a couple of minutes. You want it to be good and hot, but it doesn't take very long to cook. Alright, this looks ready. Nice and bubbly. And I promise you, Campbell's never prepared a tomato soup like this. Pecani sauce gives it great texture. This is almost like a bisque rather than a regular soup. And we're going to take just a touch more, set it right there in the center. This is gorgeous. And it only took 5 minutes to do. You can't beat that. Well, it's more easy cooking, and I hope you can go home and enjoy it. Have a nice day.